From WBBM TV, this is Chicago's News. 2 News at 10.
Tonight, an inspirational story from Chicago touches the lives of thousands of people all across the country. Good evening, I'm Linda Maclennan.
And I'm Bill Kurtis. It is the story of the unwavering faith of Dwayne and Janet Willis in the face of unimaginable tragedy. Few people who saw the couple from Chicago as they talked about the loss of their 6 children in a freak accident will ever forget the strength of their faith and belief in God. And now the Willises are learning their story is helping people all across the country. The pastor of a small church in Wisconsin wrote about the Willises in a pamphlet that is selling far beyond anyone's expectations. Channel 2's Rob Stafford is live in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin with the story.
Bill, people here at Falls Baptist Church were so impressed by the Willises, they asked permission to tell their story. They got permission, and at the beginning of the year, they printed up these pamphlets. Since then, they have sold more than 120,000 nationwide, selling them for the printing cost of about 8 cents a piece, and they say there is no doubt this 6-page bestseller is changing lives. You'd expect sorrow, not song, from Kathy Kimball tonight. Her oldest son, Charles, has sickle cell anemia. Her youngest son, Marvin, drowned last year. But Kathy says if the Willis family can survive tragedy, so can she.
I thought, wow, if they could do that with 6, you know, the Lord is He's gonna bless me, you know, with Marvin, the one that I lost.
Kathy Kimball has read this pamphlet printed by the Falls Baptist Church. It describes how Reverend Dwayne Willis and his wife Janet lost 6 children in that fiery van explosion outside Milwaukee. It shows how they handled their grief with incredible dignity, strength, and faith.
Janet and I want to praise and thank God. First, for 6 precious children, 4 rascally boys, a sweet girl so much like her mother, and a little baby just beginning to smile and grow.
The Willis's quotes appear throughout the pamphlet. So far, the church has sold 120,000 copies nationwide.
People have just called from coast to coast wanting the pamphlets, and the response of the people that have been receiving them has been very, very gratifying.
The title is How Could They Make It? The message for people like Charles Kimball is if the Willises can make it, so can I.
The Willises, they're not going through the death of my brother, the tragedy with my brother, with us, but they're going through the same situation, and it always helps to know that you're not alone when things like that happen.
In addition to dealing with the death of his brother, Charles Kimball is also dealing with sickle cell anemia, which he says is now in remission. Charles and a lot of other people are going to be here at the church tomorrow night. That's when Reverend Dwayne Willis and his wife Janet will be here from Chicago to talk with members here. And Linda, as you can imagine, they expect a full house.
I can imagine. Thanks, Rob. No testimony today in the O.J. Simpson trial, but there were still headlines coming out of the courtroom. They revolve around a decision today by Judge Ito. He has now dismissed a 4th juror. Tonight, that juror is talking about what happened and speculating as to an outcome. Channel 2's Janet Shamlian joins us now with more. Janet.
Linda, that's right. Today, Judge Ito did dismiss another juror, a man who tonight is now speaking out. Now, according to him, he believed that the prosecution was putting on a very strong case, and he says, without a doubt, he believes the jury will indeed reach a verdict.
He is 46-year-old Michael Knox, formerly of the Simpson jury, dismissed today by Judge Ito.
Has it been difficult for you, sir?
Very much so.
Can you tell us why you've been excused?
No, I don't.
Ito told the remaining jurors of his decision this morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, the court has found good cause to excuse one of the jurors on the original 12, and we are going to select a replacement at this time.
The addition of a white female to the panel means the jury now consists of 8 women and 4 men. 8 jurors are African American, 2 are white, 1 is Hispanic, and 1 is of mixed race. Michael Knox had been at the center of controversy for weeks, accused of betting that Simpson would go free.
Your background? There's been a lot of allegations made, but they're all false. A lot of lies.
What about the bet, sir?
No bets at all.
But this is what is said to have prompted Ito to dismiss Knox. The jury tour of Simpson's mansion, where Knox was said to have been in awe, studying pictures of O.J.
And what honestly happened to me is I walked into the house, And the pictures were there. You cannot miss the pictures because they're everywhere in the house.
Were you in awe? Were you in awe that day?
Not necessarily in awe, but, you know, you could not get around not looking at the pictures.
Knox said he was disappointed by his removal. So is Judge Ito. There are just 8 alternate jurors left now, and perhaps another 6 months of the trial.
Now, in other developments today, the defense admitted that it didn't disclose all the information it had about that witness, Rosa Lopez. The attorneys apologized. Linda, that's not good enough for the prosecution, though. They are asking Judge Ito to sanction the defense. He has not made a decision on that yet.
All right, thanks, Janet. It looked a lot worse than it turned out to be, thankfully. A single-engine Piper Cub airplane made an emergency landing around dinner time tonight, southwest of Joliet. The plane narrowly missed hitting I-55. The plane had taken off from DuPage County Airport. It was headed for Bloomington. No one is quite sure what went wrong. Neither the pilot nor his passenger was hurt. The FAA is investigating tonight. It was last Halloween night when American Eagle Flight 4184 crashed in Roseland, Indiana, killing all 68 people on board. Today, during MTSB hearings on the crash, the manufacturer of the ATR turboprop revealed that a new de-icing system is about to be installed on its planes. That system is due to be tested Saturday at Edwards Air Force Base in California. The manufacturer says the new system will be installed by summer, and they claim that it will make the fleet 5 times safer than federal standards.
Just when it seemed as though the long and painful case of baby Richard might be coming to an end, a new twist today. The boy's biological father now appears to be pushing for a speedy turnover of his 4-year-old son. Many child experts have advised a slow transition. Cook County Public Guardian Patrick Murphy says since he represents the boy's interests, his office has hired psychiatrists to work with the boy gradually. For years, Richard Bailey denied he was a con man. Today, he finally came clean. In federal court, he pleaded guilty to swindling and charming wealthy women from the North Shore by selling them show horses at inflated prices. Bailey has been and remains a suspect in the disappearance of Candy heiress Helen Voorhees Brock. He has never pleaded guilty to any charges in that case. A sentencing hearing for his part in the swindles will begin on May 22nd.
Governor Edgar's new budget for the state for next year carries a price tag of $33 billion. The governor outlined his plan to the legislature today in Springfield. Despite its cost, it calls for no new taxes and holds down spending. Here is where the money would be spent on items like education, child welfare services, mental health services, and more prisons. Democrats are saying it all sounds fine until you look at the facts. They say the new budget never mentions money for Chicago schools and does nothing to reduce the state's Medicaid red ink.
The leaders of the Chicago Republican Party are privately reeling tonight from the shock they got in the mayoral primary. The candidate most GOP ward committeemen were backing was narrowly defeated, beaten by a former professional clown. Channel 2's political editor Mike Flannery explains the winner is also a kind of Chicago Forrest Gump.
I'm very busy running for mayor today, Russ.
This Southside barbershop is one place where the new Republican nominee for mayor of Chicago does odd jobs. Ray Wardingley needs the money to supplement a monthly disability check from the Veterans Administration, the result of a head injury in the Air Force. He also used to work as a clown. He no longer dresses up as in earlier campaigns, but he is enjoying the shocked reaction of Republican officialdom.
I'm your candidate.
Enjoying it all, too, is the barbershop's owner, who took Wardingley under his wing about 15 years ago.
And this morning, I got the biggest surprise of my life when I heard that Ray Wardingley was nominated mayor of Chicago on the Republican ticket.
The man Wardingley beat says Chicago's Republican Party's now sunk to an all-time low.
It also puts the possibility of a candidate that falls below the minimum threshold of credibility. And that's a nice way of saying who is going to be able to put their name on the letterhead.
Channel 2 News has learned some Republicans want to ask Wardingley to step aside and let someone else have the nomination.
They might not like me. They're stuck with the Spanky. They're stuck with me.
He told us his victory is something no one can take away. Mike Flannery, Channel 2 News.
And Channel 2 News has learned mayoral candidate Roland Burris was counting on Larry Horace to be the Republican nominee and maybe take 20% of the vote away from Mayor Daley in the April 4th general election. Was not to be.
Not to be. A 2 News Extra special report is coming up. Did you know that the abortion pill is being tested right here in the Midwest? We'll tell you how it works and why it may be riskier than you think.
And later, Grammy Awards for Albertina Walker and other Chicagoans. We'll show you their big night and a live report from L.A.
And as far as cold air is concerned, March came in strong today, and it's going to be kind of chilly again tomorrow. We'll cover it all in a few minutes.
During the Dodge Preferred Option Sale, pick your options, pick your cash savings and values. Like up to $1,200 off Dodge Neon Sedan or the hot new Neon Sport Coupe. Consumers Digest 95 Best Buys, including cash savings that can be sent factory direct to you or use them toward your down payment. So hurry to the Dodge Preferred Option Sale, because the more you want, the more you save. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
When you decide to sell a home all by yourself, you take certain steps. You advertise, and you wait. Until finally...
Dear home seller, if you pay points and I go with a 15-year arm, what am I paying for when I send graduate
Roomates Associates lead the industry in experience in sales. They can probably sell your home faster and get a better price than you could on your own. So why leave your lot to chance when you can leave it to Remax?
Remax! It's the next best thing to a sure thing!
This Friday, be the first to see what critics are already calling the best movie of 1995. Beautiful. Roommates is funny, touching, and altogether wonderful film.
Just the way I like it.
A must-see. Peter Falk is sensational.
Who's telling this, you or me?
Gene Shalit says audiences are going to come out of the theater feeling on top of the world.
Don't talk to me when I'm balding.
Peter Falk, D.B. Sweeney, Roommates, rated PG. Starts Friday, March 3rd.
If you were to line up, end to end, all the luxury sports sedans that come standard with 170 horsepower engine, power windows, power door locks, power moonroof, plus both driver's and passenger side airbags for around $20,000, you'd have one. The Acura Integra Sports Sedan. The Acura Integra, one of Car and Driver's 10 best for the second year in a row.
Tonight's Dateline begins in Mogadishu, Somalia. U.S. Marines shoot and kill a Somali civilian after he fired a rocket-propelled grenade at them. No American soldiers were hurt.
Jacksonville, Florida, the state takes custody of a 13-year-old girl jailed for calling former hospital patients and telling them they had AIDS when they didn't. The girl's mother says she can't control her daughter, and she had threatened to kill her.
Union, South Carolina, today in court, Susan Smith's lawyers would not say yet what their defense will be. For now, they say they are focusing on Smith's mental state when she allegedly drowned her two sons after claiming that they had been kidnapped.
Waco, Texas. Country singer Willie Nelson appears in court to face charges for possession of marijuana. A Texas police officer says he found the drugs after stopping Nelson's car. Singer says he's innocent.
Denny, California, the Emmy Award-winning actor Ed Flanders has died. He was 61. Flanders was best known as the lead doctor on the TV series St. Elsewhere.
Capitol Hill, Senator Bob Dole says the Senate will vote on the balanced budget amendment tomorrow. The vote has been delayed twice by the Republican majority. The Republicans say they are one vote short of having enough to pass the amendment.
Rome, Italy, a ceremony by the Pope in honor of Ash Wednesday. The holy day signals the beginning of Lent, 40 days of penance before Easter.
Well, if you were watching the Emmys and were loving Luther Vandross, right? The Grammys, they just took a fade to nowhere. Came out of the blue. I mean,
one of the best songs of the whole evening.
I know. We'll get a lot of talk tomorrow. I'll bet you didn't like that either.
I did not. I know. But I like the music a whole lot. I'm singing a nice song, and it ain't about snow. I'm hoping that March is going to be just like February was, but we like the tune of the weather. 4/10 of an inch of snow in February, and that was on one day, February 3rd. Last February had 26 inches of snow, Bill and Linda. And let you know the difference between one year and the next. But the cold air is hanging in. Take a look at the numbers. It is chilly out there. 14 degrees at O'Hare, 18 at Midway. Got to search to find 20 degrees we did in Gary. Wind chill is 4. North wind is light now at 7 miles an hour, but all night long it's going to be that kind of weather with us. So get used to it maybe all this week. week, too. Quickly, we will give you a sense of what else to expect. Overnight tonight, Elgin, Antioch, Lincoln Park, Orland Park, anywhere from 9 to 11 degrees for the overnight low. One storm that we need to be concerned with, it will be brushing by the Chicago area. Hopefully, it will not give us a full impact. They had some advisories and warnings in effect farther away today. The clouds and rain have arrived in Kansas City, while we have mainly clear skies around here. Tomorrow, though, for us, temperatures staying in the 20s, and that snow that's to the west growing a little bit closer and closer. But let's wrap it up. We'll start with tomorrow morning. A few stray flakes will fly and fall on 14 degrees around here for the wake-up call, the middle of the day. Sunny skies and 23, and it looks like the second night will be just as cold as the first. Another cold night on the second day of March. And the trouble spots, if any, will be Saturday and Sunday, where we could get an icy mix arriving just when everybody wants it, right on your weekend. But maybe that'll change, and we'll update it all when I see you again tomorrow.
Thank you, Steve. A 2 News Extra special report is coming up next.
And later we're live in St. Louis, where DePaul is playing a key game to get into the NCAA.
Coming up next, 2 News Extra has learned that the abortion pill is being tested right here in the Midwest, and you may be surprised to hear what some women are saying. Learn how it works and why the abortion pill is more risky than you may think. 2 News Extra coming up next.
Is there such a thing as a lease that's fun? Well, if it's a lease on a 1995 two-wheel drive Isuzu Rodeo, there is. Because at just $267 a month, it makes enjoying the big-time fun of a rodeo really easy. And if you don't believe us, just look how much fun our lawyers had with it. Geez, guys, not that much fun. Oof. Come on.
Offer not valid on Mars or other non-terrestrial sites.
Sheesh. Isuzu. Practically amazing.
Ameritech Cellular is designed around you, bringing you the affordable rates you're looking for. It's designed around your need for reliability, making you part of one of the most advanced cellular systems in the country. Because the quality of service is what counts, no matter where you are. Call now, and for just $29.50 a month, get an NEC phone, service, and 50 minutes airtime every month. Ameritech, your link to better communication.
Donnie's going through a crisis.
You could think about dating again, too. Not so soon after the divorce. It's been 3 years.
His ex-wife's moving on.
Come on, let's say bad things about our ex-spouses. It'll be fun.
His daughter's growing up.
It's a very awkward age for girls. What age is that? 12 through 35.
And he's just trying to figure it all out.
What was that? I don't know. But I did like it.
Bye-Bye Love, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, March 17th.
During the Dodge Preferred Option Sale, pick your options, pick your cash savings and values. Like up to $1,200 off Dodge Neon Sedan. Or the hot new Neon Sport Coupe. Consumers Digest 95 Best Buys, including cash savings that can be sent factory direct to you or use them toward your down payment. So hurry to the Dodge Preferred Option Sale, because the more you want, the more you save. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
In tonight's News Extra, a look at the so-called abortion pill, RU486. Clinical trials are underway all over the country, and it looks as though the pill is on the fast track for FDA approval. This is not a story about the debate over the pill, but rather a look at how the abortion pill works. Channel 2's Joan Lovett reports.
It's a lie! It's a lie! Babies do not have to die!
Abortion is the most common surgical procedure in the U.S. and easily the most controversial. These tiny pills may heat the argument even more by making abortion more accessible. Their official name is mifepristone, the generic version of RU486. These pills cause abortion.
When the first pill is taken, the pregnancy, in essence, the body stops maintaining the pregnancy. About 48 hours later, a second pill, which is a prostaglandin, is administered, and that begins the contractions, which causes the body to expel the pregnancy.
Though Chicago is not one of them, Brian Howard is in touch with the several Planned Parenthood clinics testing the pill around the country. He says the idea that the pill offers a quick and easy abortion is wrong.
I don't know of anyone who's administering it and saying, hey, here's a simple way to end your pregnancy.
In fact, the abortion pill may be more complex than a surgical abortion. The chemical procedure only works in the first 9 weeks of pregnancy. A surgical abortion can be done up to 14 weeks into the pregnancy. A surgical abortion is completed within about 4 hours. The pill takes 2 days and then requires a later follow-up exam. This Planned Parenthood clinic in Des Moines, Iowa, is just one of the testing sites for the pill. After a woman consults with her doctor and the lab work is done, she returns to begin the process. On her first visit, she takes up to 3 mifepristone pills, which will degenerate the pregnancy. She returns 2 days later to take misoprostol, which will cause the uterus to contract. 60% of the women will abort their pregnancies during this required 4-hour stay. Others will abort away from the clinic. The woman returns for a follow-up visit 2 weeks later to make sure the pregnancy has properly terminated. The chemical abortion fails for 4% of the women who try it. They must return for a surgical abortion.
We know that about 3 out of 100 are going to bleed big time, and we don't know who.
Some women have reported heavy bleeding, painful contractions, or emotional distress if they're alone when the actual abortion occurs. Others see the pill as a good alternative.
I've never had surgery before, and it frankly terrifies me. I don't want anything to do with it.